Yo, what's up, everybody? So today I have something a little different. I guess it's kind of like an EDM drop that I've been working on. It's not the usual type of music I make. I usually stick with R&B and hip hop, but it's fun to dive into different genres. You learn new stuff and it kind of expands your musical outlook. So yeah, with that being said, let's just take a quick listen to the drop, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, cool. So yeah, that was the drop, and you probably noticed you heard a lot of like filters and reverse cymbals and white noise, and those are the elements that really create a drop and that whole build up to release feel. Those are like the elements that sonically create that. So let's just quickly talk about some of the instruments that we have going on here. Just got my keyboard out of the way. Okay, so this I'm using this piano in Nexus from the Total Piano expansion. Sounds like this. Yeah, it has a decent amount of attack, not like a dance piano, but I would say more than a grand piano, but less than a dance piano. And I thought that it fit well with this track, and it has I have a filter sweep on it with a pretty decent curve. That's just preference. I like when the filter opens up more smoothly rather than like an aggressive straight angle. And the chords I'm playing here are D minor, A minor, G minor, and then a C. So as you listen to the filter open up, you can really hear the attack come through. And that's all part of the build up. And another element we have here in the intro is this bass that almost sounds like a kick, but it is in fact a bass, and it's from Omnisphere. It's called Steel Pick Bass. Now, I wasn't even sure if I was going to use something like this, but then I thought it needed some kind of, I wanted some kind of rhythmic element to really pull you in before we get into the whole lead section. So I thought this worked. I thought this worked nicely. Okay, and let's talk about this lead because that's super important. So I basically just have two sounds layered. I have this one sound from Massive. It's more of like a higher pitch pluck sound. See, there's some delay on it. Definitely like plucky. And then in Nexus, I have this patch called Dance Core. This is definitely like a super soar type of sound. So yeah, I have those layered together, and I have a bus where they're both going, both of the sounds are each going to a bus, and there's a lot going on in the bus. I have a limiter, reverb, an EQ, delay, and then another limiter, and then this is just the EQ for the sweep. So yeah, I mean it's pretty processed. I have a lot on the chain here, but I wanted, when you stack your leads, you really want them to live in the same space, and so it's always good to have a bus where you can send all your leads to, and together they sound like this. So you can hear that high pluck, and almost under it is like the soar, the super soar sound, and I feel like they both blend together pretty well, and they're both being played in the same octave. There's some little time differences just so they're not exactly together, but in this first section here, but yeah, they're the same octave, and I think they really mesh well together. And just like with the intro chords, we have that curvy filter opening up this lead. Once the filter opens up, you can really hear the soar, those soar sounds come through. And then I just have this reverse cymbal into a reverse crash into the crash. So yeah, and I have some white noise. Just to give the whole pre-drop just a little more tension. And then I have this little pad here that I believe is, yeah. So it's Nexus, just Epic Pads, 5th dimension 2. It's just 2 notes, I think A sharp and C. And that kind of just gives it a floor where all these elements can kind of sit. Well, really just the white noise and the lead. And so I just put this hi-hat loop in there. I really like this loop. Super simple, has delay on it. I think I got it from Splice. Yeah, it looks like a Splice title. Yeah, so kind of a triplet feel with some delay on it, and the drums, the kick and the snare. I'm using a 909 kick. No, I'm actually using this kick, Cashmere. I think this is also from Splice, and this Cashmere clap layered with the snare. So you can hear all the processing on on these samples because they're already in the mixer. So let's take a listen to the hi-hat loop with the drums. And I should point out that the drums are being played in halftime, which is not really common in EDM, at least like mainstream EDM. I know, and I think in like dubstep they'll do a lot of halftime drums. I don't really listen to that though, but either way, I think it felt right for this track. Yeah, so and then I just have my kick, snare, and clap into my drum bus, and then we just have a what the hell? Wait, this should be a limiter with the preset. Drum compression 2. I don't know what happened to that. Yeah, so that's just being just pumping those drums up a bit more, and then this clap is being sent to a reverb bus with just a reverb with a really long decay on it. Yeah, and those are the basic elements. I mean, those are the instruments and the drums that I'm using in this track. The bass for the drop is it's the same bass as the intro, just playing the root of these chords, nothing special. And these chords are the same as the intro, the A minor, D minor progression. And so one last thing is the side chaining. So basically what I did, instead of using a plugin, I could have easily used a plugin, but I just sent all my instruments to this sidechain, to this bus. I named it sidechain, and I just automated the volume knob to the kick, and so whenever the kick hits, the volume goes down. So you'll see that right now. I mean, I sometimes like doing it that way just because it gives me a little more control of the curve. And if you really wanted to like really pinpoint, you can really match up the shape of the kick to the shape of the sidechain, the automation. So I mean, that's just one way of doing it. I could have easily just, you know, set it through a plugin, through Fruity Limiter and stuff, but I don't know, I just did it this way, I guess. And yeah, so those are the elements that I used to make this drop. So we'll give it one more listen.